guys, welcome back to Blue Heart Crochet. My name is Abby. I live in the northwest of the UK and I create videos on here about all the crafts I've been getting up to. I try and do these craft catch-ups every 2 weeks and there I talk about what I have been making, particularly knitting and crocheting, over the previous 2 weeks. It has been 3 weeks since my last video. Basically, work's got unexpectedly hectic. We are getting into our busier season at the moment because weather's starting to get nicer and things like that. And the cruise ships have started and I work in the tourist industry. Yeah, and then we had a staff member who we knew was leaving at the beginning of the month, but they didn't decide to put an advert out until this person left. And we also had someone hand in a notice because they got a different job at that same time, and the notice period in our work is only around 2 weeks. So yeah, we've suddenly gone down 2 staff members, so we've got a bit hectic. So I've been working a bit more often, which has just meant that I just wasn't able to get a video up last week. But anyway, I can film today. Got a bit of time where I'm peace and quiet, where I can show you what I've been up to. So I've mainly been working on 4 projects over the past 3 weeks. One of which has been completed, one of which got frogged back, so there's not as much progress on it as I'd like. The other 2, I'm quite rarely made up for the progress. But let's get on to the finished objects. Ignore the ends. There's only one end that needs weaving in, the rest just need snipping. Now, this is the corner to corner blanket that I've been working on. It is a baby blanket and it is really good size. So this is going to be a gift for a little baby in our family. My cousin's daughter is having a baby due in the early autumn. So because my sister's also having a baby in early autumn, I was like, oh, I better sort of, well, my sister's more close to the middle. But anyway, I was like, I don't want to make loads of stuff for my sister's baby and then have this family member feeling left out. So I've decided let's do a quick little corner to corner. Now, if I hold this up here, so where this little watermelon stitch marker is there, from there to there, that is how much I've done. Obviously it's corner to corner, so going around like that. And then I have put on the border. For the border, I just did 3 rows of double crochet in US terminology, just round it. I did a row of half double crochets as like a setup row when I was going around it. So I don't know whether you'll be able to see one close up. So there's the corner to corner there. As you can see, there's a row of half double crochets, again US terms, just to sort of make it look a bit neater where the yarn is changing colour. The yarn that I used for this was from a shop here in the UK called Poundland. You get these 50-gram balls for £1, and the shop's basically like loads of random bits and bobs, like cleaning supplies, you know, a few grocery items, things like that, toiletries. So yeah, I picked up, I got this yarn ages ago, but yeah, it's really pretty. The dye lots on it, they're all the same dye lot, but for some reason the colour changes are really a bit weird. Some of them have longers of other colours than others, and yeah, but when it's laying down you can't really notice it, but it is really emphasised on the camera. But yeah, as I said, these are all woven in for the most part. It's just the final one on the end that I have to weave in, and then that's it. They're all done. So I'm really made up with the blanket. It is a really good size. I've chose these colours as I thought they were very gender neutral. I know that, like, you know, boys can wear any colour, girls can wear any colour. I'm not like that sort of person, but you know what it's like. Babies often, you can't really tell whether they're a boy or a girl. Most people thought I was a boy because I was bald even past my first birthday, and I know my mum used to be fuming when people thought I was a boy. So yeah, I didn't want to go anything that was too feminine or too masculine, so that the parents would feel comfortable using it. So I went for this colour, which is lovely, bright and colourful. I was thinking about maybe using one of the yellows or the reds as a border, or maybe the blues or the oranges, but I couldn't really, because as I said, the dye lots are really weird the way they're done, and some of them, the yellows was a lot more paler, others it was a lot more mustardy. So yeah, I just decided to go for the white because that is going to be the most similar. So yeah, that is all done, and I believe I used a 3mm hook on this, and that was just so the holes were not too gappy when doing the corner to corner, because it can come out a bit gappy at times, but yeah, that's came up perfect for the baby. So that is all ready to get wrapped up and gifted closer to when the baby is born. So yeah, and that's the only finished object I've got. But let's get on to whips, and keeping on with the baby blanket theme. My sister, when she found out she was having a baby, we went through my knitting and crochet books, and she's bookmarked a load of patterns that she wants doing. So that is the baby blanket there that she wants me to make, and this is King Cole Baby Book 5. Now, I have actually really been trying to keep on top of Ravelry this year, and I've been doing a really good job with it, of, you know, keeping project notes on things and that. And I've been really good, not just like noting down the yarns or the hooks or anything, but like actually putting in notes of what I've been doing if I've deviated from a pattern. So when I went to add this one on the blanket, the cardigans that were in here, they're all on Ravelry. They've got like, you know, a pattern page. I don't think you can actually get them on Ravelry itself, but you can't buy it on Ravelry, but you've got to like purchase the book. But like there's a pattern page for that cardigan there, but there's nothing for any of the blankets in the book. And I believe there's like 2 blankets or 3. I'm not sure. I know that's not the only blanket in here. I'll try to see if I can get... What I love about this book is it actually has like all the pictures at the front, so it's easy just to sort of flick through. Yeah, but for some reason they're not showing any of the blanket patterns. So yeah, but anyway, I've been working on that baby blanket. It is, let's see what it's called. That's another one she's bookmarked. So it's the little vintage blanket, and it's really cute. I thought that the pattern repeat was going to be a bit of a nightmare to remember, so I wrote it all out so I wouldn't have to keep using my phone. But you know what? It's actually so easy to remember, and I can do this practically in my sleep at this point. It is getting so easy to remember. So I've got it on circular needles just because I love using circular needles. I find now when I'm using like straight needles, because I've had to use it for the border because I don't have the border needles in a circular. I didn't have them at all. I've had to borrow them from a library. But yeah, I just figured out, I just remembered how much I hate using yeah, straight needles. I just find this so like they get in your way, they poke you, these just go wherever you put them. So yeah, this is how much I've actually got done. So if we ignore the stitch markers on this side and we focus on this one here, this little starfish, from the starfish is how much I've done over the past few weeks, and it is actually coming up really nice. So what I've done is I've measured, so it tells you to make it X amount. It doesn't tell you how many repeats to do. It just says keep repeating until the pattern is X amount long. Say for example it'd be like 60 inches long, then I'd measure what was 10 inches, and then I know times that by 6, that's how many repeats I've got to do, was how much was in that 10 inches. So I've worked out how many rows I've got to do. Again, put it on Ravelry so I know what I'm doing. And I have been marking with the stitch markers here. I think that's every 10 rows that I've been marking there, so that I know where I'm up to. Sorry, yeah, I think that's every 10 repeats, sorry, not every 10 rows now. And when I've been changing the yarn, so there's one of it there where I changed the first ball, there's where I changed the second ball, and over here was where I changed the third ball, sorry, where I ended with them. And what I've done is I've made sure that I'm on the end of a row when I am changing the yarn over, just for if there is a bit of a stray end, it's easy for me to knit in when I'm doing the border, because I will be adding a border onto this blanket. It's part of the pattern, but I absolutely love it. And I mean, Look at the texture on that. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the texture on it. Again, looks so complicated, but it really isn't. The yarn that I am using, pretty sure I've got it in here, in the bag. It is Sublime Baby Cashmere Merino Silk DK. These are 50-gram balls. The shade that I'm using is 0677. And yeah, it's a mix between extra fine merino, silk and cashmere. I got this, it was in a pack of 10 of these 50-gram balls that was on a sale pack, and then because Abercrombie's, where I bought it from, was having a big sale on everything, it was even further reduced, so I got it for an absolute bargain. To be honest, making this baby blanket's probably worked out cheaper than buying a baby blanket with the yarn, which is not something you can really say anymore, because honestly, it used to be that people used to make things like school cardigans and stuff like that because it was cheaper for them to make it at home, but now with price of yarn and that, and the price of like fast fashion, being able to buy things in bulk and stuff like that, it is now a lot more expensive to be able to make your own stuff. Just the way things happen, the way the world changes. But yes, that's just something I've really noticed that's quite interesting. I'm using a 4mm hook for the main bit of the blanket, and I'm using my Knit Pro Zings in the interchangeable circulars. So that's what I've been working on there. The next project is the one I've frogged, right? So I've had a bit of an issue with this pattern. It is some socks. Let me show you here. So that's what we've got in the socks. You can start to see the cable pattern. So these are the August Honey socks. They were a free pattern. They're on Ravelry. I'm not sure whether they're available anywhere else, but if they are, it'll all be linked down below in the description box. I am using the Regia cotton colour, and this range is based off fruits, and this one I'm working on now is the kiwi. I'm using a 2.5mm hook. Now, onto the pattern. Right, so free pattern, great. You know, love a free pattern and sock patterns. Like, you know, has to be quite a lot of work goes into it. I'm doing it toe up, did the Judy's Magic cast on, and I believe these could be cuffed down quite easily. I'm just gonna make them shorties like they are in the pattern because it is the cotton yarn. But with the pattern, there is a repeat for the cabling, but at the beginning and the end of the row, you don't do the repeat, you just do something else. Now, what you do, it's not on the chart. So I copied out the chart. I screenshotted the chart, and I'd be doing it and I'd be like, okay, I'm up to a cable and row, let's start doing it. I'd follow the chart. I'd get to the end and I'd have X amount of stitches remaining that did not fit into the cable count. And then I'd remember that I was supposed to do a certain amount of stitches in this pattern at the beginning and the end, and I'd have to frog out that whole row. Frogging in knitting is so much harder than frogging in crochet because they do have to be on the needles, and trying to frog a cable is even worse, and I hate it with a passion. In the end, there was not one cable row where I went round totally fine without having to frog it back, and it was just frustrating me so much. So in the end, what I did is I completely frogged them, did them beginning, started them again from the toe up, and yeah, I omitted the amount of rows at the beginning I was supposed to do and the amount of rows at the end. It's not in the cable pattern. I am just doing the cabling throughout. I've altered the stitch count, and to be honest, the stitch count I've made is 60, which is what, if I'm doing a vanilla sock, I prefer to get to 60 anyway. So it's not a big deal in that sense. I think it just means the socks are going to fit a lot better, and now I am actually enjoying it. I've not had to frog a single row since doing that, and I know it's not a big thing. Like, I could draw out the chart myself, you know, or over time, maybe when I'm like halfway through the sock, I might start remembering you're supposed to do something beginning at the you know, beginning and end, and that. But no, I didn't want to work on them because I thought I'll end up forgetting, because you do it, you know, I'm just going off the chart and I just keep forgetting that there was supposed to be something different at the beginning and the end, and it is in the written pattern completely fine, but it's not in the chart, and it was doing my head in because I kept forgetting. So yeah, I just decided, you know, I'm not enjoying it, so I'm not picking it up, so let's just frog it back. And speaking of the cabling, I did not have a cable needle that fit. I couldn't find the cable needle that I had that does fit. I've definitely got one, but I don't know where it is at the moment. It is temporarily misplaced. So what I was actually doing was I was using one of my smaller 2.5mm needles. I was using that basically as a makeshift cable needle. But yeah, because of how long it was just getting in the way and things like that, and I thought I may need that needle at some point. So it was actually the other weekend, and this is what kicked me up the backside to be going, you need to make a decision on the socks, whether you're carrying them on or frogging them back, because we went to a baby appointment at John Lewis where you get to try all the prams out, the car seats and things like that. You know, no obligation to buy, you know, it sort of gives you an idea on things. So we went to this appointment, me, my sister, my mum and my auntie. I had a lovely day out. But the baby section in John Lewis in Liverpool is right next to the craft section. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to have a little look over there. And I found, it came in a 2-pack, and I think the other cable needle's like 5mm, 5.5, but this is 2.5mm, which was exactly what I needed. That is what I am knitting the socks on, is 2.5mm needles. So I was like, that is perfect. So I picked it up and I went, right, you've got the cable needle now. You've got no excuse to not either carry on working or to frog the socks. So I decided to frog the socks, redo them, and that is where we're up to at the minute. As I said, other than that, and to be honest, most people probably will not be affected by that. Most people do not have a memory like a goldfish, but for me, no. I was like, put it in the back, just put it in the chart. So anyway, yeah, that's it. One of the projects that's seen the most improvement on, and I think it's just because it's been so easy to work on, is my corner to corner blanket. So I'll show you this here. So I was where that marker was there. I've done around here to that corner, and I've started going around here, got to a second corner, and if I hold it like that, I'm about just over halfway on that third row. So I've got 3.5, maybe 3 2/3 of a row done. So this blanket's made using my yarns for my advent calendars that I bought last year, the My Yarny Corner and Mouse Witch yarns. Now, when I was working on it, I was like, it's not going to be that big when it finishes up. So I was like, what do I want to do about it? But I had leftover yarns that I'd not used for my advent yarns previously. They were my Yarny Corner ones again. So I decided, okay, I'll add these in to the blanket. I'll just do it how I was intending to do it with the 2023 advents, and then the 2022 would border it. But I was going to be 10 minis short. So I, you know, said on my Christmas list, anyone wants to get me anything, here is what I'd like, some little minis. So I did get some for Christmas. I can't remember who got which ones, but one of them I've started using in, and that's because it's this one here. So I don't know if you can tell, but these have actually got a sparkling. I think you can see it around the blues. And I did have, oh, it's under the stand. So I saw these at a yarn show and I took a picture because they were absolutely gorgeous, and I wanted to be able to remember the designer to buy them online if I ever, you know, wanted some hand dyed yarn. And I showed my sister because she was like, what do you mean mini hand dyed yarn? And I showed someone, I think it was my sister, but I showed someone them, and eventually basically someone got me from Christmas So it is the Neon Rainbow UV 4-ply Starry Sock Yarn by Yarn Unique. So because these are sparkles, what I've actually done is I'm doing the 2022 yarn, and then the 4 regular minis that I got given, they're going to be going around in the border, but the 6 sparkle ones, they're going to be sort of placed around in the middle of them, so that they're not all right next to each other. So there's one of the sparkles, there's another, this corner here is a sparkle, and then I'll be doing another sparkle there, and there's 2 more to go in after that, I think. Yes. So yeah, it just dots them around a bit, so that they're not all right next to each other. And yeah, I'm really loving this blanket. So here it is in all its glory. I'll try and do this way, like that. Don't know whether I'm getting it all in at the bottom. Right, so I hope I've got that in as much as I can. So this is what I'm calling my corner to corner Battenberg, because it's designed to be like the Battenberg blanket, which is made of little mini granny squares. It's absolutely gorgeous pattern. Go and check it out. I'll try and link it in the description box. But yeah, I decided to do the CTC version that I'd seen others doing. And the white that I'm using to break it up, that is Stylecraft Signature 4-ply Baby in the colourway white. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And the blocks are 8x8, and I'm doing join as you go, so it's lovely, you know. You don't have to sew them all together. And also, once I've done a row, I'm weaving in my ends, so all I've got of ends to weave in so far is that left, that row there. So yeah, really loving it. Hoping to get it finished within the next 2-3 weeks at push, because then I can finish off the triangle advent blanket, and I've got loads of blankets that I want to finish. I think I've got 3 that are a need to finish. So yeah, I've got 2 others that are long term, but there's 3 that are not long term that I need to finish. But anyway, yeah, I want to start getting my blankets finished. Yeah, especially now as I'm working on the baby blankets and I'm getting them off, and I'm getting the itch to like look at more blankets. I'm like, no, get ones you've got finished first. So that's all I've been up to over the past couple of weeks. But yeah, so I thought I'd also do a little thing at the end of this video, because I've been asked 4 questions in the past 2 weeks, or asked by 4 different people questions about Buddy. So if you're new to the channel, Buddy is my little Bichon Frise. He's fast asleep next to me. Can I borrow you a sec, mate? Hello. Are you going to say hello? Yeah? You going to say hello? So this is Buddy. He's a little Bichon Frise. I believe you're 12, aren't you, little man? So he is 12 years old, and I've been getting quite a few questions about him recently. First one is, how is Buddy coping? Is he doing a lot better? So again, if you're new to the channel, we also had another dog called Charlie, and Charlie was, we got both the dogs at the same time. They've been together since they're 12 weeks old, and Charlie passed away September last year, and Buddy struggled like a lot of us did when Charlie passed. He was very clingy. He's getting a lot better. The only time he gets really upset is when we do leave him home alone, but we do try and limit that. He's normally only home alone for a couple of hours at the time. Thanks to both my parents being retired, 1 or 2 of them can, you know, between them, if my dad can't look after the dog for whatever reason, my mum can then look after him. So yeah, he very rarely is home alone. It's normally for a couple of hours at most, but he really does still struggle with that. Like, put it this way, when I'm going to work, Buddy is always coming in the car with me. If my dad's going to drop me off to get out the house for a bit, Buddy will come, he'll sit on the front seat, and with the weather being absolutely glorious recently, we're now in a lot of rain, but it has been glorious recently, and he's loved it because he's had his head out the window the whole way to my work. yeah, and like my dad, he'll often go over to see his brother after he's dropped me off at work. Buddy goes with him. Buddy went the other day with them, spent a whole day sat on my uncle's lap. My auntie, who's the wife of that uncle, when she went to the baby appointment with us and John Lewis, at the end of the day we were talking about, you know, oh, what did we buy today, because we did a bit of shopping afterwards. And my auntie said, the only thing I've bought today is dog treats for a dog that's not even mine, because she bought dog treats to make sure that there was something in for you when you went to visit, isn't she? Yeah, in the cupboard. So yeah, he's mostly doing okay, but struggles at that point. The second question is, are we looking at getting a new dog still? So we ummed and ahed about it before Charlie passed. Like, we didn't expect Charlie to pass. It happened all really suddenly, but you know, we've always said, like, you know, something we might have to do when one of them passes, getting with the dog so that they're not that lonely. We have looked in with it at the moment, because of, you know, my dad and my mum retiring and enjoying their retirement, does mean they don't have the time to devote to looking after a puppy, because obviously a puppy's a lot of work and you need to put in that time and energy to train them, look after them and nurture them through the growing years where they're chewing and things like that. We can't accommodate that at the moment, and if we can't accommodate it, it's unfair to then bring a dog into that situation. So we couldn't deal with a puppy at the moment. We have had a look at rescue dogs, but we've not been able to find one where it's suitable with another dog. Buddy is quite a calm and placid dog, so we're quite lucky in that regard. But yeah, none of the dogs that have been in rescues that we've looked at have said that they can. Yeah, and unfortunately that's just because of the traumas they've been through, and that's heartbreaking. So that was question number 2. Third question is, how's Buddy's leg? So again, I'm going to move you over here, little man. Here you go. So again, if you've been here a while, last year Buddy got pulled his tendon in his back leg. He's doing a lot better on it. We do have the medication for if he needs it as pain relief. We decided to go on the conservative route of treatment, basically not the surgery, just because with his age and the rehab that he's going to need, you know, with the vets, we all agreed that, you know, it's not going to be in his best interest with his age and things like that. So we've done the conservative route. He's doing quite well. He runs around like a little silly bugger, but we do have the medication if we notice he is in a bit of pain, to be able to give him the pain relief, but he's not needed it in absolute ages, so he's doing fabulous. The fourth question, sorry, that I got asked is, does Buddy wear little socks? Right, so can you show the people your paws? So as you can see, Buddy's paws are a little brown, and someone pointed out it looks like he's wearing socks. So what it is dogs have something in their saliva and in their tears that causes like their white fur to turn brown. So that's what it is where Buddy chews on his paws. If we have a little look, Bud, show your eyes. Right under his eyes, you can see there's a bit of brown, and that's why he's a bit brown around his mouth. But yeah, his paws are the worst for it, front and back as well. So he does look like he's wearing a bit of socks, don't you? And Charlie, bless his soul, on his arm here, there's a part of his arm where he used to love to chew. And he forever had just a little brown patch on his white paw, didn't he? Okay, I'll get you a chew in a minute. Get you a chew. Shall I get you a stick? Oh, I think he's heard that. I think he knows that. So yeah, Buddy's doing fine. And yeah, it was just unusual that he had so many questions come through in the 2 weeks. But it was so touching to hear that people were looking after, thinking of Buddy and going, how is he? Because like, that's so sweet, because I love hearing about like pets on other people's channels and things like that, and hearing what they get up to. You sort of like feel like they're part of, you know, the family, the big extended pet family a lot of us crafters have. So yeah, Buddy's just loving life, doing great. He spends his days running around, going on little adventures with my dad, me and him going on nice long walks. Then when my dad goes to bed, Buddy's like, I'm up with you. Follows me dad up to bed now. Then I'll come take him out to the toilet before bed, and he sleeps with me. Because PTSD nightmares, you gotta love it. So he stays with me as a little security blanket, little living one. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. That's a little Budster update, and so thank you all for asking. But I thought if I'm I thought, you know, might be others who want to know them questions and answers as well. Sorry, throat's getting itchy, so I'm gonna go. I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and taking care. Let me know what you've been working on down in the description box below. I'd love to hear what you all get up to. Take care, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Bye.